We are here on our second judging day with all our judges in-house. This is for the Face Your Fears Challenge. So today we've got a list of 20 and we're going to go through them one by one. We're going to ask you guys if they are in your top 10, if they're in your 10 to go through, and then we're going to ask you to rank them after that. All right, so our first one is Lenore. So can we get something, now remember, I should refresh, remember what the key things we're looking for is demographic, 6 to 11, comedy,
That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not funny.
and potential.
At all.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
that
not
was my
funny at
one
all.
note. It's not
Yeah.
funny at all. But I like the character, and I think that if they could put the character in a funny, I mean, hard to say whether this character will ever truly be funny. But I do like it, and I think it hits the age demo. But they need to work on the comedy aspect of it for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
You guys? Okay, so the commentary we're getting right now on this one, that although we like the character, when we're looking at what our core objectives here are, demographic, 6 to 11, comedy, and potential, comedy seems to be the spot where this one just is non-existent. This is not a comedy. And the question is, can it be one? Because we all seem to like it, we all seem to like the character, we all seem to like what's going on in there. Can it lean into that or not? So we've got our marks for Lenore right now. We're going to move on next to one of my favorites, and I think we're going to have the same kind of conversation here, Frico.
Yeah, I find a lot of them from the storytelling standpoint is a struggle. You're going to hear a note about the writing and so forth, but you got me right off at the top with this character waking up with the frog, which I thought was the thing, and then he's like, hey.
Yes, the frog's no big deal.
I thought that there was a little bit of difficulty in the way what happened after. I didn't understand what was going on. I still think that there's a story to be told in this world. Still needs to work a little bit on the animation with the hands.
Okay, all right, so next one up, Panda Cat.
I love the wackiness of this. Again, the story has a problem, but there's something about the fact that these cats, like the fear is that there is no food. And I didn't get the end where they were going off to find food. I thought it would have been funny if food just flew in or something like that. Like, it's your feeding time. But there was just something unique about this panda cat character, the craziness that it brought about.
And it could just as well be a cat. Right?
Yeah.
Like it does, like the panda element is sort of superfluous at
Yeah,
this point.
that's fair.
Like it could just be a cat. And it would still be, it would actually almost be funnier if it was just a cat, I guess. I don't know.
Like, I love the word Panda Cat.
Sure, it rolls
It's a
off
great,
the tongue
like,
nicely.
It basically sums everything up.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of what we were talking about last time as well, is that there's something about that if they could just be that.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll keep moving then. TK.
I thought that it was suspenseful. I was wanting to know what was going to happen, and I think that it fits the demo well.
Yeah.
I think an animal character is always a good connecting for kids, and it was a real fear that something's going to happen to something that his owner loves or cares for. So I just thought it hit all of the marks of the challenge for me.
Okay. But it seems to be filling the criteria of the challenge, and it seems to be filling the criteria of what we're looking for.
Yes.
That seems to be the strength of it. I've seen a lot of TK in that TK was one that was started out last year with us, and Brad's been with us for a long time, and the improvements, like he really does seem to pay attention, and he knows our competition. It seems like he's working very hard within exactly what you're saying, within those parameters.
I really did love how he worked in so much background of the world into this challenge.
Yeah.
So you see much more of what this show would be.
Right.
I did appreciate that.
Oscar and Dingus.
Yeah, I really thought this one was quite funny, and I thought the dialogue, the script is way improved, actually. It's disappointing. I mean, I have to say, considering some of the other work that was done, I gotta have points off for unfinished animation at this point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I had to consider that as well, but I think this is starting to work for me. It's just not quite there for me.
Okay. It is nice to see, like you said, that they've moved a little bit away from the John K. derivative. It seems to be kind of building its own personality now.
You got more of their relationship out of it, and I just thought it was altogether funnier.
Yeah. Cool.
I think if you were going to throw your effort behind working on it, I'm glad they worked on the dialogue and the script.
Yeah.
So I like this.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Then we're gonna keep moving. Lionel.
One of the funnier things about it in its first incarnation was him suppressing his roar,
Yeah.
which I thought was funny, and it's definitely young, but then
Right.
they kind of lost it in this.
This
So-
one's pretty dark.
Yeah, so I liked that part of the first, that's why I put it through the last time, but then that's gone completely, and I get it's, about facing your fears, so that's, it's a different sort of idea, but they could have worked that in to get some humor into
Yeah.
it, I think, again.
All right. Galactic Space Ninja.
I love this show. I think I want to take the animation out to dinner, maybe propose, and it is way off the target.
Yeah.
If I can bet, I want to see the Galactic Space Ninja feature.
Oh, for sure.
I want to see a 90-minute late night.
Yeah, I want to eat a bunch of cheesies at 4 in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, it's kind of,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Watch it.
Weird.
It's delightfully weird, but we gave that note, didn't? Yeah. Anyway, Christopher, sorry.
I thought the animation, was very interesting, and the coloring and shading were beautiful.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he needs to work, or she needs to work on the style, and still get that down. And also, what is this? I was completely lost, and that was the same as the first one. I was like, what is happening?
I think that's why I like it so much.
reread
Yeah.
My notes from the previous one, believe it or not, and I read everything about it. I was like, I'm not smoking the same thing as they are.
So I think in this case, it's one of these creators who clearly has a vision for what they want to do that may not be lining up with our competition.
Not at all. No.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you. We're going to move on. Yen and Yak.
Yeah, I really liked what they've done with this. I think the animation is even prettier this time around. I liked the identifiable fear of your friend being separated from your friends.
Okay.
I like that the beard's friendly now.
Okay.
It was a good solve on. We were talking about how the beard being a character was tricky because he could never leave, and then the beard just left. So it was
Yeah.
a good fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got some more room there to play.
Yeah, a little bit more
Problem
room,
solved.
yeah.
I mean, even though I picked it, I still think the beard is not necessary. Like, I
Right.
think it would be, if it was simplified to just him and his yak,
Yeah.
or him and his beard, like pick one.
Yeah, I'd go him and his yak as the more compelling thing from
Yeah.
the last
Well, from a
video,
kid's
so-
perspective
Yeah,
too,
for
probably,
sure,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. Gigi.
We may have given a note last month about showing us a little bit more of the world.
I think
like
so.
what, asking questions like, is she magical? What has the hat go? And I think that was an attempt to incorporate some of that.
Yeah.
But it became very confusing. And
Yeah.
I think the character's adorable and skews younger, and the environment and content here didn't match that.
Right.
But I still think Gigi has potential.
Well, so we come down. We come back to that. That is that key third ingredient, the potential there, and that can sometimes be the make or break moment.
And it was funny enough in parts that it.
It had
Yeah.
moments. Like, it's so overstuffed, it's hard to follow,
Yeah.
but there's little moments that kind
Yeah.
of shine through. That's kind of what kept me going.
Yeah.
Like the spicy ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a character moment. Like,
Yeah, there's enough pieces in here you could
Yeah.
do something with it, but we do see. I mean, Face Your Fears does lend itself, like the challenge itself, does lend itself to these things going a little darker. But it's interesting that so many people chose that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they heard in the challenge, because we're trying to show. I mean, pressure can be anything.
Yeah.
And your fear can be anything, and it's how it plays out. And that a lot of these creators struggled to keep it comedic.
Yep.
And maybe that's an experience issue, and this is why we're working on this kind of stuff. That's why we're trying to do this, is to put them through those paces. But Gigi's one that I would have a hard time as well, knowing what's come before. We're going to keep it moving. Pepper in Monterey is next.
Great way to address the challenge. I thought it was really funny throughout, really polished. It actually looks like a clip from a finished show almost. Pepper was the hardest character for me to get into before. He just seemed so grumpy. I love this idea that he's just boastful.
Right.
That he's actually terribly afraid of being alone. But then when he finally gets measured, it's like, I was fine, I have no fears.
Yeah.
Very
That's great.
funny. Great,
Yeah.
great solution.
Okay. Brandon, anything over?
Yeah, it's
Monterey?
great dynamics. It's like the boarding was fun. Like, I'm still a little unclear on what the show would be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. But
they're
it's definitely a
shorts for
standout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're leaning very much on it's a comedy duo.
Yep.
Bang,
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it's,
Tom and
they haven't
Jerry.
really built out any mechanics that way.
Yep.
Favorites.
Okay. So that one's that we're going through. We're good on that one. Sir Strawberry.
There's still a weird juxtaposition about the types of stories you're going to tell with this young character, and I don't know as though they have to really take a moment, take a deep breath, think about story, think about what this character is going to accomplish in a series, and then go from there. You're getting into a danger zone of could be cut if you don't really flesh out this world more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll admit the pieces, the initial pieces, have made it right off the bat one of my favorites. But I'm looking for this creator to really step up. Because I think there's a ton of potential in this one, and I think there's a level of sort of professional execution, which is great. But we need to see the thinking behind it.
As the one person that didn't actually even put it in the top 10, I gotta say, it's beautiful to look at. It's a beautiful pitch for a video game. Not a very original one at that. But for me, like, so far there's been no story in either of these months. And I'm just like Christopher was saying, I'm just like, okay, so he's a protector and a fighter, and his fear is being a protector and a fighter. I just don't get it. I don't know what this is about at all.
So does anyone have a suggestion? Does anyone have, like, what would be your constructive?
Like Christopher said, working more on story and character.
For sure.
Why does this character do what it does?
Yeah, like everything else is beautiful. I think the character itself is just generic right now. So I think it's like, why is this character the most like hilarious character to be in the situation? I don't get that for sure.
Okay. Let's keep going. Aaliyah and Vero.
I thought it was funny. I've always liked this character interaction. But the animation needs work.
Yeah, I think that the designs are very dated looking for me. It
Sure.
looks like something that would have been produced in the late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah.
And I found it quite dark.
Yeah.
Maybe just an overall tone.
Right. I think she does tend to lean into the adventure side of potentially adventure comedy.
Yeah, and it's always a little earnest. And
Yeah.
For this competition, I think a little bit more comedy would go a long way.
Okay. You guys on screen, anything? Any words of advice?
Story.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to say that it's about the characters. Having all of that device around it is not the point at this point. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going then. Stanley.
Really got to like simplify this, make the entry point humor, and find a way to take this to the next level. I thought that they did a little bit make a jump, but if we want to keep this going forward, humor, story, get rid of all of the esoteric things about am I a human, am I a man, all those scientist things. Make it goofy and funny for that.
Gotcha.
Like 9-10-year-old.
Let's keep going. Phil.
I thought the animation really improved from last time. I thought there are some really funny things in there, and they're not utilized.
Okay.
So, i.e., the baby computer, I thought was really hysterical, and but they have to take it further. They have to, sort of have the computer keep calling and also the dog, and then the computer keep calling the dog an aardvark, and there's comedy back and forth there. This got dark and weird at the end and detached from the space shuttle, so I'm ignoring all of that and saying, if you were to go forward, you need to bring it back to that character and the interaction between the three of them.
Okay, let's keep going. Lumberjack.
I'm still on the fence on this one. I actually was more drawn to the Council of Lumberjack Elders,
Yes, that
the
was
building
funny.
out the
Log
world.
is my favorite.
Yeah,
part of
Log
this,
was the best part of it for sure. I think learning more about this crazy lumberjack mythology, not too big, but a little bit, was more interesting to me than the character itself.
Yeah,
for sure.
a lumberjack himself.
Yeah,
is
it's
not
a little lacking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Again, character and story and humor, bring that full force next time if this goes forward, because it just needs to get clarified very quickly. Otherwise, it could go out there. Because right now, I don't know. I didn't understand the end. I didn't understand waking up in the middle of New York City. It looked like so there was things that were weird about it, but I still believe in sort of the character and the Council of Lumberjacks and the weirdness of that all and how that could be fun, but really need to work hard.
Let's keep going. Strangest Neville. Okay, Max is our next one.
Yeah, I mean, I like the concept generally. I worry about where the comedy would come from, especially with a character that seems so sort of morose, I think, or like sad.
Yeah.
But I like the designs and everything. I'm not sure where the
How do you feel
comedy's
about the
going to come
nose?
from. I don't like the nose.
That's another
But the
nose.
rest of it is nice. Like the designs
Yeah.
and the backgrounds are all really nice.
Where are we at? Harry and Shelley.
This felt like the best written one.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
sure. Like it was the most clever. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, no,
funniest.
I said it was a great scene, and they did a really good job of, fulfilling the challenge for sure.
Okay, cool. I'm happy. I love it. So awesome. 2 more to go here. Hazan.
Yes.
I could not follow it. I don't understand what it is. I don't understand who he is. Unfortunately, this is something to learn from. The dialogue was off because he said, at the very end, he said something like, I hate parachutes, but then he put a parachute on and happily floated away.
That was my
very
exact
weird.
note.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was because what he was afraid of was manifesting into his dreams, and so he said, "I'm afraid of parachutes," and he got the parachute.
Okay. So the point that was taken out was in the dialogue, he talked about hating parachutes and being afraid of parachutes,
Something like that.
and then he had a parachute and he was all happy to have it and jump out. Brandon put forth that he was acknowledging that the things that he was fearing and talking about were manifesting themselves in the dream,
Yeah.
and so he therefore stated that he hated and feared a parachute so that one would appear, and therefore
Yeah, that's
he
how
would
he
be able
got
to
out.
jump out and save himself.
I see why I don't like it. It's so complicated.
If you got to explain the joke.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So no runners up over there. You guys liked it. Is there
Yeah.
anything in particular?
It's the voice. The
Yeah,
voice
you
is
just
so
want-
great, and I would challenge him to put that character into some more kid-relatable situations.
Yes, I think it could be funnier,
Yeah,
a lot
for
funnier
sure.
if it tried, but
Right.
I like the character and
So it needs
the
some
voice.
show work.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
yes.
there's
Yeah,
something
for
in
sure.
there from this creator that you think there's some potential there.
Yeah, well, finding
Yeah.
a fun voice is tough.
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're down to our last one. Casey and Max.
It's humorous. It moves well. It's too high concept. Like there's a lot they have to explain every time.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's not
Somehow a ghost and a cat feels like a more natural relationship.
right.
So I'm not
So
sure.
so somehow this
Yeah,
is
I agree.
becoming complicated.
A little too, yeah.
Little
Somehow along the way,
Yeah.
this duo is becoming too complicated. Is there anything else that you guys want to say to our creators as a broad note? Is there anything you guys want to throw out there, having seen these?
From a little bit of perspective, I think really focus on the written word first. It all comes, that story and that place of writing really is an important part of this whole process. And really think about that as you go forward, and then focus on the character and think about the age group. It's 6 to 12 that have to fit in that. There's i.e. crushes and all those sort of things.
Yeah.
So those 3 things, really think about those things as they go.
Okay, it's a lot to think about. Thank you guys very much for this. I really appreciate it, for making time out of your day.